What's up, guys? Doorway 3 or Jake back with another video. I know it's been a really long time since I've done a video, and I'm sorry about that. I actually did make a bunch, but just before I posted them I realized, oh, the audio is ridiculously screwed up. So I think I figured out a way to fix that, so we should be good there. Oh, you're looking at one of my Christmas presents, electric guitar. And I like the electric guitar because I recently screwed up my hand, but I can still play because the neck is small enough, so that's nice. Okay, plan. This video is probably going to be about half an hour at least. So, let's get on with it. What song am I going to do first? That day when I see all that you have for me, when I see you face to face, they're surrounded by your grace, all my fears swept away in the light of your embrace, where your love is all I need, and forever I am free, where the streets are made of gold, in your presence healed and whole. Let the songs of heaven rise to you alone. No weeping, no hurt or pain, no suffering. You hold me now, you hold me now. No darkness, no sick or lame, no hiding. You hold me now, you hold me now. In this life I will stand, through my joy and my pain, knowing there's a greater day. There's a hope that never fails, where your name is lifted high, and forever praises rise for the glory of your name. I'm believing for the day where the wars and violence cease, all creation lives in peace. Let the songs of heaven rise to you alone. No weeping, no hurt or pain, no suffering. You hold me now, you hold me now. No darkness, no sick eternity. All my heart will give, all the glory to your name. Oh, I can't get that part right. I'm just gonna cut that one off there. Bad ending. Oops. That did hurt. Yeah, I was working on the school project and I slipped with an X-Acto blade and it cut this whole thing right here. Just sliced like that. I had to get 5 stitches in. I was in ER on New Year's Day. I was gonna do a thing for New Year's, but I was in ER, so that kind of stinks. Yeah, so that's healing up actually nicely. So at least I can sort of play guitar for the most part. So about that song, what I usually do. On that day when I see all that you have for me. I would say that means that we don't always see what God is doing, but we know He's there and He's planning something. Like, we don't always know exactly what that is, but we know that He's out there and we know that He loves us and we know that He's planning something good for us. So, I've made this reference before, but that song that goes, oh no, you never let go through the calm, through the storm. Oh no, you never let go at every low. I should learn that one. I should learn that one and play it. So, yeah, that's it for that little section. When I see you face to face or surrounded by your grace, that, to me, that means like when life is over, when we die. When, if we're a Christian, we go up to heaven and we meet God face to face, surrounded by His grace. Basically, this song is sort of saying, you're going to a better place. All my fears swept away in the light of your embrace. Knowing there is a greater day, there's a hope that never fails. That means that means even though it's hard tonight, in the morning, whether you're alive or not, it'll get better. Like, that's, I don't mean if you have a serious struggle going on right now, that I don't mean by tomorrow it's gonna be gone, but during the night, during the darkest period of your life, God is with you, and He leads you through open doorways, hence my YouTube name, The Doorway Theory. He leads you through open doors, through maybe literally Himself. He'll literally show you. Like, I know people where they had no idea what the gospel even was, they had no idea what the cross meant, and one of them was actually struck to the floor, and he got this image of Jesus Christ in his mind, where sometimes God will literally intervene in your life, and other times it'll be through other people. So my slogan is, I can show you an open door, I can show you what worship music means, I can show you an open doorway. But the catch is, I can't lead you through it. You have to make the decision to follow God. If you're going to make the decision, make it. It is completely worth it. Or worth it, not worth it. It does not mean that your life is going to get any easier if you're going through a hard time. But if you are going through a hard time, you know that someone's there for you. Where I'm in a tough situation at the moment with some friends who are going through a lot, and so I have to be there for them. So I give them Bible verses, I lift them up any way I can, but they won't, I can't talk tonight, dang. What time is it? It's like, let's see what time it is. If I can get my phone in my pocket. Like, I can show them the way to God, which they're seeking God through it. and experiencing God. It is currently 6:30. Dead middle of winter, 6 inches of snow on the ground, or at least where I am. I'm in Connecticut, so 6 inches of snow on the ground where I am. But they're seeking God through it. One of them was just despairing before, and I'm like, you know what, God loves you. And I kept telling them that, and telling them that, and telling them that, giving them Bible verses, showing them an open door, even though I couldn't make them walk through it. Kind of like the slogan, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. They went through it themselves, and now their faith has really been strengthened, even though they're going through a lot. Let's see, what was I trying to get at here? I guess I can turn this into a bit of a sermon. It kind of comes in line with what I just said. Not really, but I can give it a shot. It's titled, Why Faith Needs Doubt. Ooh, weird. I thought the same thing. I actually got this from an article that I read in my Bible class that was titled that. I'm like, what the heck does this mean? So I read through it, and I knew I was forgetting something when I was setting up down here. My notes are, for the darn thing, are not down here in my basement. They're upstairs. Ow, dang that hurt. Yeah, this stupid cut is in a sensitive spot. So, I will be right back in a minute. I might try and do a jump cut or something when I post this and do settings and stuff. So, I'll be right back. Wow, that took a while. I had to completely reprint it. Okay. So, okay. So it's called Why Faith Needs Doubts. So there are 5 points that are in it. The first one is stick to the essentials. Second, keep moving. Third, don't be afraid. 4, respect where others are at. And 5, enjoy the view. So, for the first point, stick to the essentials. This might actually take the whole video. Is that everything cannot be the same importance in your life. Like for me, I organize my life into 3 categories. I have faith, family, occupation, or my job. That means my faith is my first priority, my family is my second priority, and job is a third priority. Faith is first, family second, work third in priority standpoints. Where just scratch that. So stick to the essentials means don't take everything and make everything important as everything else. It's kind of like dominoes or a house of cards, where I use the house of cards version. Basically, that means that like when everything is most important, everything is actually I use the domino one. Everything is okay. This is important as this, as this, as this, as this, as this, and so that means when one part of your faith gets challenged, that means all of them are challenged because everything is as important as everything else. And so the dominoes fall, all of them, and your life's in ruins because you feel that because this one thing is challenged, everything is challenged. Like if God is one of your things, which he shouldn't just be one, he should be the big thing. But if he's one of your big things, then but everything is as important as God. If your faith is challenged, everything is challenged. And your life can fall apart because of that. It sure happened for me. Those are called false fundamentals, where something that really isn't important in your life, you perceive it as being very important. And that doesn't mean you're going to immediately topple over and immediately fall, but it means that you're heading in that direction. So if, say, your girlfriend is as important as God or something like that, or if God is as important as your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, when your faith is challenged or when they're challenged, if you're going through a hard situation with that relationship, then everything is kind of screwed up. Like with the house of cards, if everything is important, which in a house of cards, every card is important. If one gets flipped, the whole thing comes down. And so false fundamentals, I'm actually just going to read off my sheet. False fundamentals make faith vulnerable. It makes it easy to have a house of cards that will suddenly fall down, so be careful with that. I don't know if I made sense or not, but I might just go through that again. So stick to the essentials. I missed a good point. With this, when you make everything fundamental, at the same time, nothing is fundamental because nothing is above anything else. So that can be a real hard thing to deal with sometimes. Or it's like you're stressed because you want to get everything done because it's all as important as everything else. At least the stress, so it's not a good situation when you're in that. Okay, point 2. I'm going to see if I can make this a little less confusing. Keep moving. I was at a youth group meeting where the leader said that faith is like an escalator. If you stop, then you start to go downwards or in a downward direction. Does that necessarily mean we fall? No, but if we don't keep up our faith, we won't grow in our faith. Then we get lazy and we start to fall downwards. I'm gonna go off a little tangent here. Take church for instance. Church, I would say, it's not absolutely necessary for faith. I will say that right now. It's not absolutely necessary, but it's a really good thing to be involved in, to hear what someone thinks about the Word, the Bible. So, say you have a really good pastor, like the one down at Valley. If you're watching this and you know what that means, there's a church with a very astonishingly good pastor that makes sense of everything. He would probably explain this better than I can, a lot better than I can. He always does really amazing sermons that involve everybody, whether they're new, whether they're not new. So it's really nice. But say it's like, I'm not going to go to church this week, I'm tired, or something like that. You get lazy, you're not keeping up your faith. Say you don't do much for God with your faith. You're definitely not growing in your faith, you've stopped. And so you get lazy and you start to not pray as much, and you start not to go to church or read the Bible and stuff like that, until you really don't have much faith left, because you're kind of lazy about it. So that can be a problem. Okay. So I'm just gonna quick read this thing. Yeah, it's 3 pages long. So what it also means is, like, if you're in a difficult trial, keep doing what you're doing. Or don't... I said that wrong. Keep doing what will make your faith grow, whether going on a missions trip, going to church, doing devotionals with yourself or with a youth group, sort of point. Keep helping those around you, if that's something that you do. If you're someone who's really there for your friends, keep being there for them and keep lifting them up. And you will find God in that kind of thing. If you feel like you're without God for whatever reason, do what you did before, where you did feel God, and you'll find Him again. A good quote is that the line between faith and doubt is the point of action. You don't need certainty to obey, just a willingness to risk being wrong. We need to keep moving. We can experience God in the middle of a struggle, like I just said. When you reach out during what could be the hardest part of your life and still try to help those around you, yes, it may hurt to hear the stories of others, but when you devote a part of yourself to helping them, you will experience God through it. Where, in helping those around you, you will grow closer to them. You'll grow closer to God. Okay. Point 3, don't be afraid. One thing that we always need to remember is that our problems are never too big for God. You may have felt like you've heard it before, but I will renew the thought in your brain. Your problems are never too big for God. At all. God always responds with 2 things: patience and grace. He's very patient with us because we screw up a lot. And He doesn't get angry. And then grace. Grace is basically getting what you don't deserve. So He gives us grace because we definitely don't deserve His love. We don't deserve His forgiveness, but that's what He gives us. When we need Him, He's there for us. So, another quote. Serious doubt, the kind that leads to despair, begins not when we start asking God questions about our faith, but when out of fear we start asking altogether. So that means that if you... How do I say this? If you're someone who does not like asking a lot of questions because, say, if you're in school, you freak out what your classmates will think of you. But that's one thing. But if you do that with God, where you're afraid to ask Him, am I doing the wrong thing? Am I doing the right thing? You feel serious doubt in yourself and you're not sure where to go. Because if you're afraid of facing God, you're kind of afraid of facing everything that's around you. So that just means your fear is going to grow the longer you stop asking God questions on what you're supposed to do, or ask Him how to lead you where you should go. When you stop asking out of fear, your fear grows. So when we keep asking, when we keep going, then we get reassurance from God about what's going on. Okay, number 4, respect where others are at. So asking questions is helpful at times, but don't get like cocky and just ask a really tough question to try to shake somebody's faith and try and prove you right or you wrong or something like that. Or it's not really right to do. Like sometimes if you do that, someone will freak out and walk away from their faith. I've seen it happen before. I didn't ask the question, but they didn't know what to do. They doubted in themselves and they doubted in God because of the question that somebody asked. And well, I'm not like completely sure that they walked away from their faith and they had to come back to it, but it really shook them up. So don't do that. If you know someone's a beginner when it comes to walking with Christ, don't ask like the absolute most difficult questions to answer, because more often than not, if they're a beginner in their faith, they won't have the answer. It may make you feel good, like, oh, I'm so much smarter than they are, but it really doesn't help them out. So God wants us to work in community together to get through things. So being there for someone that's with you, that's going through a hard time. Be in community with them to help actually both of you grow in faith. Or it's not just going to be, oh, that's nice, you got better. It's going to be, wow, I saw God do something amazing for this person. That strengthens your faith. It strengthens my faith when I see people grow, because it helps me grow. And then step 5, enjoy the view. So sometimes doubt is just another way that God shows us something new. So I would actually change the name of the sermon to Why Faith Requires Doubt, because for me, I had to completely doubt myself because I was kind of screwed up and I didn't know where to turn to. And so I was doubting what I was doing, and I had to trust in something that I wasn't completely sure of would work. And that it turned out that when I decided to put at first blind faith in God, that it worked out. So it starts with doubt, then sometimes it can go to sort of blind faith where you really don't know if what you're doing is the right thing or if it's going to last. And then you really get into faith and you become a stronger Christian, a more knowledgeable Christian. You know what you're doing a little bit more. You're not much of a beginner. You're kind of experienced. So, yeah. And what happens when we doubt our own faith is that we look at the things we prioritize. What's essential? What isn't essential? What should I keep the same? And what area do I need to grow in my faith? When we ask and act upon them, we're growing closer to God. So, yeah, I would say that sort of concludes it, where you need to act, or both ask and act, double A, on questions you have about your faith and what you prioritize in your life, because some people say priorities aren't a very big thing, but for faith it is. Like, as I was saying before, faith, family, and occupation. I prioritize things based on their importance. Where if I have a family member struggling with something, then I'm going to spend time helping what is second in my priority list than what's third, which is my job. Or whatever. I will focus on what's a priority and not on the things that are less, or that are lesser than what you're dealing with. So I hope I made sense. I really hope I did. I don't know if I did, but I'll see how you guys react to this. So, first sermon video. Finally, this is, I would say it's a bit of a large step, because I said probably a month and a half ago that I would make one the following Friday. So I'm sorry it took so long to upload this, but I finally did. And I'll probably do another one on the third page, an entirely different one. So yeah, nice long period of time. I hope you actually watched the whole thing. So thank you. Adios, guys. Till next time.